Okay, question 8. Rectangle has length twice as long as it is wide. So the rectangle's length is twice as long as it is wide. So if the width is x, then the length must be 2x. And has an area of 242 meters squared. Determine the length and width. So we can say 2x times x equals to the area, 242. Just length times width equals to area. So we have 2x squared equals to 242. Now we can just divide both sides by 2. Maybe I'll write an extra line. We divide both sides by 2. To get x squared equals to 121. So now we can square with both sides. And we get x equals to 11. Not finished yet. We can say that width is just x, which is 11, and this will be in meter. The length is 2x. So maybe I'll write here 2. 11 meter. The length is 2x, so 2 times 11 is 22. And that would be the final answer. Question 9. Rectangle has a length 25% longer than the width. Okay, 25% is the same as 1/4. So maybe I'll make the width just equals to 4, right? And then the length should be 5 little square, right? You see 1, 2, 3, 4. So 25% of 4 is just going to be 1. That's why the length is 5 little square. So I can call this 4x and 5x, right? And the area is 80. So this area is 80 centimeters square. Determine the length and width of the rectangle. Same idea, I just multiply them. 4x times 5x equals to 80. So 20x squared equals to 80. Now we can divide both sides by 20. We get x squared equals to 4. And then we square with both sides. We get x equals to 2. So now we can say that the width is 4x. So 4 times 2, which is 8 centimeter. And the length is 5 times x, so 5 times 2, which is 10 centimeter. And that will be the answer. Question 10. A right triangle made by cutting diagonal on a square. So we just have a square. Maybe I'll make it slightly bigger. So we cut this diagonal, and the area of this right triangle is 242 centimeters square. So I can say this is also 242 because they're exactly the same. And I can call these x. So x times x equals to the total area of the square, which is 484, just 242 plus 242. So x squared equals to 484, and then now we square with both sides. We should get x equals to 22. So you can just type that into the calculator. The square root of 484 is 22. The question is asking for the parameter. Parameter is 4 times x. So this is 4 times 22, and we get parameter equals to 88. And this will be in centimeter. 11. Triangle is made by cutting diagonal on a rectangle 33 1/3% longer than it is wide. 33 1/3 is really just 1/3 in fraction. 33 1/3%. So, you should know that already from Math 8. So if I want to make something a third longer than it is wide, I can just make the width 3. So now a third more will be 4, right? So I can call this 3x and 4x. And that will be the rectangle that I want to use. So again, cutting from the diagonal, and the area is 54 centimeters square of this right triangle. Well, if that's 54, this must also be 54. So now we can say 3x times 4x, equals to 54 plus 54 is 108. So we have 12x squared equals to 108. Divide both sides by 12. We get x squared equals to 9. And then we square with both sides, we get x equals to 3. So the width is 3x, and we just determined x to be 3, so that's going to be 9. The length is 4x, and x is also 3, so we get a width of 12, and that's the final answer. Okay, I'll see you in the next video to go over the last 12 questions. See you soon.